Hello, and welcome to the Chasing Growth podcast. Here is Matteo.
And here's your host, Sasha.
So today we are gonna face an incredible topic, which is related to, I think, the very matter at the very womb of every success and of every personal accomplishment, which is your own identity, which is basically like whatever you feel and you want to be and you are. But like before, then eventually taking every action and eventually like getting to every results that you want to get, that you want to achieve in your path and in your way, in your climb to success.
Yes, and I'm 100% sure you will love it. You will get so much out of this podcast for your life, for your business goals, and for your health goals. So enjoy the podcast and have fun.
Okay, Sasha. So what's your identity? Meaning, because identity is everything and nothing, but identity comes first when it's matter of you introducing yourself. So in the very first episode, you introduce yourself very quickly, very briefly. But when it comes to maybe the wider question, what's your identity? What would you say, and what's identity for you?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for this hard entrance and hard beginning of this podcast. You come always up with so difficult questions, and the bad thing is we don't talk before, so I never know what question will come up. But I love the topic because the topic is very interesting because it's not what we have. And I think there's one interesting thing when we thought about this topic. There's a quote or saying from Eric Fromm, and he said, we all think that we have to have things to do something to become a person. And that is like like Newton, that is cause and effects. So I want to have this to get this and stuff like that. And in universe, it shows us it's so different because it is like, hey, if I have a girlfriend, then I will be happy. If I have money, then I will be happy. This is, I think, always the thing that we think. First thing, we have to have something to be someone. And the interesting thing is that it's completely the opposite. That you first have to be someone, then
you achieve and you get.
Then you will do something, and then you will automatically, out of the things you are doing, you will get something. And for me, it's the easiest way to explain about identity and stuff like that. It's when it comes to fitness goals and something like that, because so many people think, I want to lose weight, and focusing on the goal instead of focusing on the habits. And the habits have to be identity focused. So who do I have to become to achieve this goal? So in that form, I would identify myself really as a very interested person in new things. So I really, that's maybe sometimes a difficult thing. I should think about this identity because it's sometimes hard to stick to one thing because so many other things in. So distraction will be another podcast series about that. But it's something like, don't try to run a marathon, try to become or be an active person. And I think this is the thing what it's all about. And for me, it's really like, I love being active. I like being do some sports stuff like that. And in our challenge, the 365 challenge, I had to cut it, obviously, because I had COVID. And so I said, it's clever. It's I should not be stupid about challenges. But for me, it really helps, like that I'm a person who just implement this in a daily habit. And I think the identity part is almost everything. So what's your thought about the identity, and what's your identity, or what identity do you want to create?
So first of all, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, thank you, and like I will for sure state something that you already say, and like get back to something that you already said, because it's perfect the way you actually picture the identity, the identity how it is, you know, like as the concept. So it's never about what you have that makes you something or someone or whatever, like you want to identify yourself indeed in whatever you want to identify in, but it's about who you actually are. And what you said about the marathon and like with like losing weight and stuff, I heard many times the phrase like if I want to get to play for good the guitar, okay, like the goal is not that I need to get to play the guitar, to learn how to use the guitar. The goal is I want to become a musician, right? So like it's the musician, my identity. It's not just so eventually, like exactly what you were saying. It's I don't just want to get to run a marathon. I want to become an athlete, right? So and that's the actual change of perspective. It's not just that okay, I have to have the goal, and that goal, okay, like if I don't define myself first, it's eventually it's very difficult that I get to that goal. Like if I don't say I want to become a musician, me getting to actually get get to a point in which I know how to play for good the guitar, it's very difficult because I don't have that identity. So like as you said, there is this B part there is missing. So like me, first I am, then I do, and then I become, or then I get, right? So and that's completely right. So my perspective, like, so now I get to my absolute point of view of like what is my identity, and that is actually a question that I want to again redo for, like, to you, because I want you to picture and to exactly explain to me, even it could be difficult, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone and then say, so what's your identity? So I will start from my identity, because like eventually I know that I'm an athlete. Okay, I like my, I would say my education, my whatever career, my life career started with me being a footballer, and eventually like I'm an athlete, and I go on with that, right? So our challenge, the 365 challenge, is about just confirming the fact that I'm an athlete. And to be honest, is the challenge that is for how it could be hard sometimes, you know, like the fact that, oh my god, even today I have to work out. It is so well implemented in my daily routine that is like when I have to go to the toilet, literally like that. Like it's a need, almost, I would say, even if it is just half an hour one, or if it is a 45 minutes one, or whatever it is, the workout that I want to face today, or like on an everyday basis. It's a routine, and therefore I see that I'm an athlete. So I'm an athlete, and for that reason I work out every day. It's so like my identity is that. So eventually my action is that. So eventually, for sure, I'm in good shape, I'm healthy, etc., etc. From the fact that I'm an athlete comes out even the fact that I eat healthy. So that's another action that comes out of the identity of I am an athlete. Okay, even though I don't compete, or I'm not a professional one, or like I don't get paid for being an athlete or whatever, but I'm an athlete, period. That's my identity, you know. And now like I shift to the professional, let's say, perspective. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. I can say I'm a networker, I can say whatever, but like I start with the fact I'm an entrepreneur. So I see business everywhere. I want to make business, and the fact that I say I'm an entrepreneur, then we can get deeper into I'm a successful entrepreneur, or I'm a medium level entrepreneur, or I'm a low level entrepreneur, a high level entrepreneur. That's adding something to the identity. But the point of me seeing myself an entrepreneur makes me, as you said, like making every day the steps of okay, I'm doing business. So like how can I better my business? How can I, and then we get back to the topic of the whole podcast, like how can I make my boat go faster, you know? So and that's actually like exactly the topic of today. So like the identity is what should shift in order for you to actually shift completely. So this is my identity. I want to understand what's your identity.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think most of the people are not aware how important the identity and the way they see themselves is for anything they do in their life.
There you are. Yes.
and and this is pretty crucial. And I also would say in some parts of my life, I also would say my identity is not the best version it should be, to be honest. uh, in the sports thing is, there I would say, I'm pretty confident because I think I can do anything. I can do anything, and I will be, if I compete with someone in all kind of sports, I will never be the best, but in average, I will win most of the things, if I compare with other people. Like comparing, okay, I can go climb, I can go windsurf, I can go sailing, I can go run mountains up, I go diving and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I could go golf, and so I say I could go to gymnastics, and stuff like that. I would say, okay, overall, in special, of course, someone will be much better in golfing, but he will lose in swimming on the water, and or hiking up the mountains or climbing and stuff like that. So I would say, I'm I love the quote of myself. So um, I can do everything but nothing perfect. And so I would say, I'm very general, a generalist. I think you can say that.
Yes, you can.
And that really helps me to help people. And the one, if I come back to the identity of the business, what I always felt in love with is helping people to become the best version of themselves. So helping other people to grow and rise. And I think even that is why, because of my own troubles and my own things, I landed in network marketing, because I said, hey, it's an amazing personal development thing. It's a cheap one, and I know how expensive it is. And on the other hand, of course, here you can do in an interesting way, also a good business, because of the freedom is a high value of mine, and this is also a very important stuff, for me and my identity. And still I would come back and say, yeah, and even I know what kinds of I want to do. I love the thing that so many people, so many successful people started to create some kind of alter ego, which
There you are.
divide themselves from the normal mode into some kind of beast mode or something like that, where a special part takes over, when normal people would say, okay, I'm done for today.
Yes, you open up a very important point for today's topic, which is the alter ego. Like I want to just add something very quickly, like related to that. So like actually, what you said is super important, because like the identity is everything for which, like how we see ourselves is exactly what we become, like literally, because like we know better than, like we know that our thoughts, if we really believe in something, if we really even just come out with that something, so we strengthen even the commitment that we have with ourselves, so eventually with a partnering up, quote unquote, so like having the audience of ours being participative, you know, like for example, like we are doing the 365 like challenge for which we're working out every day. We are even just saying it out loud, like in the socials, right? Like that we started the very first day of the year, and that we are progressing, and that we are kind of on everyday basis. Basically, we are just playing it full out. Like we are doing that, and this is the day. Today it was day 82, for example. I counted it this morning, so it was the day 82, and like the fact that we are not just compromised with ourselves, saying, okay, we are an athlete, we are doing the challenge, but we are even just playing out, and we are saying it to the world. So meaning that the world is somehow our accountability partner, that's even straightening up even more and more. Now, getting back to the alter ego thing, is the alter ego is literally creating a character where you identify yourself in eventually. And I see that in thinking about it, then you tell me what you think, Sasha, regarding that. But like when it's matter of an alter ego, it's because you literally want to be the very first in the world at something, or at least you want to be somehow unique, completely unique at something, meaning that you want to even just name yourself differently, just to identify yourself in some sort of whatever topic it is, if it is entrepreneurship, if it is sport wise, if it is whatever the thing is, right? And to because you are identifying yourself, like you are literally detaching your own identity. As for example, let's say that if I create a new identity, Matthew TGL, I'm Matteo Taglia, I create a new identity, okay? And the Matthew TGL is I have to be the number one I don't know, inventor in the world. Say that I want to compete with Edison, etc., etc., etc. So, and the Matthew TGL version of myself is exactly that. And if I'm stating, and if I'm compromised with myself, and the alter ego is that, it's so powerful, shifting to the number one inventor in the world. Period. It's like I'm not anymore literally Matteo Taglia. I don't know if I don't know what you think related to the alter ego itself. Like what is the alter ego for you, and why is that powerful?
So I really think this concept can be very helpful, because everyone has different kind of personalities or identities and stuff like that. Because if you are at your parents' house, maybe suddenly Matteo behaves a little bit different, because the identity of the son is a little bit stronger than instead of being with his friends. It's the same for me. So we all have different identities, and this is totally normal. And sometimes it happens that in trauma it gets cut up, but it can be very helpful. Everything can be very powerful and helpful. So to get this a little bit more and wider, it's like going into the superheroes, and this is also interesting. Like Batman, for example.
There you are, yes.
There you have also two identities: the normal guy and the one with the mask. And here also another part is what I think about what you said, the belief. And here is something I would say which is critical, because everyone who struggles somewhere has a lack of belief. And there is an interesting thing about that, because you can tell and look at so many people who say, I want to crush my business, I want to crush my goals. And you have to look them into the eyes and you see, you don't really believe it. You don't really believe it. I believe in you. I believe in you so much more and your goals than you are doing. But as long as you don't do it, it wouldn't happen. And this is something which I said, this is a little bit the tricky part. And I know it for myself that I can speak myself very good out of something because, oh, it does not happen yet, so why should I do that? And this is some kind of procrastination is coming up, self-doubts and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
And here are two interesting things. The first thing is, in Batman Returns, he's in the dungeon of hell, and who are the only one who escaped from this are the climbers without the rope. All the others who climbed with the rope failed. And this is interesting. That is, I think, such a beautiful picture, because if you believe in yourself, you climb without a rope, because first of all, you are believing in yourself and your strength. And the other part is, if you even don't do it, like Tony Robbins say, burn the fucking boats. Yeah. There's no other chance than to succeed or to die. And of course, in business, we will never die, but we behave sometimes so badly that, oh, if we do a life, we will die. We will never die. And we are so scared about all the stuff like that. And the other part is, I think what many people are missing is they sit and wait until they believe in themselves, but that will never happen. I think it's only happened when you take action. What's your thought about this? What, because we can talk about, hey, you need to have an alter ego. Yes, that's cool. And here you just have to ask yourself, what person do I have to become that would achieve this? This is, I think, the only question you could ask yourself, and then taking action to become this person.
Okay, so Sasha, first of all, thank you for these insights. That were crazy. I was literally thinking about like my life and like previous struggles with business, but not just business or the financial part of my life, but many other things. So like I see that for sure, like the audience will love what you just said. The burning the boat side, like part is really something that we should apply in everything in our life. I think. And related to the identity and to be like to get to that, and because as you said, like it's not really that you choose your identity and then you say, okay, like okay, now I start behaving like that. Eventually, sometimes, and most of the time, because of the belief, like you have to get there, and and that's the actual hardest part. It's about starting on an everyday basis, taking actions that strengthen your belief and your self-confidence, that you can actually then become and transform yourself in, like I get back to the example that in the best inventor in the world, right? Meaning that like you are doing some good steps forward, you are having like a good feedback from the external world, etc., and that is what boosts your confidence. And eventually this is the hardest path, because like it can take a lot of time, it can be super lonely, it can be very it is actually it's not even can be, it's 100% that it's very frustrating. And dealing with all this is actually the reason why I would say like the 99% of the people fail in their entrepreneurial career, and eventually in then creating that like successful identity that will bring them then to have achieve, get, and eventually then get back to be whoever they want to be. This is what I actually see, and I'm living it myself with my own skin. And I wouldn't say that I'm that incredible successful entrepreneur that has already everything figured out. Absolutely not. But I see that I have that I'm doing the steps to get there. But I've clear the identity that I want to have. And what like the question that you made us asking ourselves, it's super important, because like first of all, like once you figured out the identity that you want to have, eventually like working towards that, it's always important. That's like the clarity of the steps that you have to take, that that are always important, like whatever, if it is like your entrepreneurial career or your personal life, etc. So like figuring out exactly what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really think that the identity is created by yourself. And what would you say? You have to create this motherfucker by yourself, and it's really definitely some kind hard work. And the other thing is, it takes a lot of action, because with every decision you take, with every action you do, you will rather put it on the plus side or show, no, it's not the identity. And this is pretty amazing. And I think this is why most of the people fail, because first, the two things, they are not aware that the identity is everything. And the other part is, it's then the short-term nice things to have instead of the long-term success that I said, okay, short-term I have to cut it, because long-term I would do that and it would be, yeah, short-term to skip a training is good, but long-term it damage everything, your self-belief, your self-trust, because you show yourself that you don't stick to the word you said to yourself. And I think that's the hardest price and the highest price you can pay.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And yeah, what you said, like there is I see the very first obstacle, and maybe the most important, the biggest monster for success is the long-term gratification, like long-term success and satisfaction, and or short-term gratification. And that is for sure like we could open up a very big speech related to that, a very big I would say like, yeah, discussion related to that, because that is actually what success is about. Why people that like, it's about it. And then getting back to what you were saying about the marathon, it's not about a marathon, it's about like a endless sprinting, and an endless sprinting I would say challenge, right? Because like you always have to give your best to stay at the top of the game, to try to figure out who you are, like, and then your identity, and eventually like win at your game, which is like getting like aiming always at the long-term satisfaction and success, which is completely different stuff with from the short-term gratification.
Yeah, and there's also I heard an interesting quote from a guy who said, the person who loves walking will always succeed compared to the people or to the person who just fall with the destiny.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's good. This is good.
And this is so like, yeah, you have to love the journey, whatever it is. And this is where I sometimes or in the past especially failed, that I wanted to rush to some special destiny instead of just seeing, hey, the journey is everything we have, and it's how we and who we become on this journey which makes the difference. And yeah, there's never a destination, never a real destination, because what should there be? There will never be something which makes us happy because it's the wrong concept.
Yeah, that's correct, absolutely, as well. So Sasha, question for you, eventually for the audience, how would you like, what would be your suggestion, your tips related to somebody who is struggling, first of all, to identify what would be the right identity for you, and then how can you work on your identity?
Yeah, okay. I was actually thinking, okay, that would be my question for you too. So the first lesson would be, think about your desired identity and ask, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? That would be the first thing I would start with. So think about the desired identity and what kind of person would do that. So be clarifying, okay, what do I want? Always, what do I really want? And ask why I really want to that. And then become thinking about what kind of personality or person I have to become that creates this outcome. And with fitness, if I want to lose some weight, it's so simple, because I say, okay, who will have this kind of form or shape I would love to have. So you look at this person and look what they are doing, and then you just do like what children do. You just copy behavior. So you see, okay, are they doing, and asking the question, is this make my boat faster? Salad or fries? And then you know it. Okay, it's easy because my identity is a healthy, sporty, fit person. What would a sporty, fit person do? Do some push-ups instead of some couch potatoes and stuff like that. So that would be the first thing. And then start with everything you do, asking you the question again, is this bring me closer to my goal or not? And yeah, I think that would be, it's pretty simple. It's just hard to sticking to that. And because then it's everything that with every decision you take, with every repetition, you create a new story of yourself and how you see yourself. And the more often you do that, the more you tell yourself, I'm a motherfucking fit person. And the thing is, then suddenly it starts that maybe you lose some first weights. You accomplish to do some push-ups or some chin-ups, and then suddenly say, hey, wow, I can do that suddenly. And then it starts to get momentum. And this is the moment where it starts to be getting more easy and more fun. But you have to be aware that to start is always the hardest part. And it sometimes can take really a lot of effort to get into movement.
Right.
So,
I love it.
so what would be your tips for creating the perfect alter ego?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not sure if it exists the perfect alter ego. It's just like the alter ego that fits you, and eventually like that you find yourself good in being like in the shoes. So tips. I love what you said regarding like the habit creation thing. So I see the very first thing is not focusing anymore on the goal itself, but on creating the habits that bring you to the goal. So it's somehow like a different, quote unquote, a different perspective to. It's just like it's same concept but different perspective from what you said on. Okay, so what do I want? What do I want to achieve, etc., etc., and then understanding what's the person that I have to become to get there. In this case is okay. What's my goal? And so like what are the habits that would bring me to that goal, and focusing on the habits, because like the thing is focusing on the not just on the why and on the of course like that question are super important, but I still see that you create that through action, just through action. And even if you said it yourself at the beginning, and like the starting point is the hardest part, and it can be eased just by trial and error. In this case, even though I see that there are models, you can model somebody, but the alter ego part, I think is something super unique. So as much as you can shape success in any area just by copying and pasting somebody actions, you can never actually copy and paste an alter ego, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
And that's
absolutely.
and so like even though your identity, like my identity can be always getting back to the example, my identity can be I want to like investor sorry not very the very best inventor, like and so I somehow want to shape Edison's path, but at the same time I will never be called Edison or something. So my alter ego, Matthew TGL, let's say that I want to become the best inventor, okay, I can understand, I can see what he did, okay, but in my alter ego creation and my identity, like for sure everything, my path will be different than Edison, even because if I want to be the first in the world, I am 100% tied to be something different. And I see that the alter, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, like you correct me if you think differently, but the alter ego most of the times, or like, has to be connected to something completely unique. Lot, even if the actions mess, and the times are like tidy at all. Like you start doing a lot of actions. So like creating habits is what I would say that is the most important thing, not focusing on the goal. And after that, another very important thing that I would say, it's measurement. Whatever you can measure, you can actually improve. So if you, once you start taking actions, you should create whatever system for you, for your alter ego, for your person to always improve, a system for you to that you can measure. Once you can measure that, it means that you can improve that, and from there on, like always creating more action that are somehow going through the right quote unquote direction, like direction that you think there is right at the point. That is what I would say.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That is very, very concrete. My thought is, I'm 100% with you with that. Alter ego is what 100% you can't copy from someone else. I think it's because of this is some kind of true self.
Yeah.
Your alter ego is some part of your truest self without any boundaries, mindset fucks that you get from school,
pollution from the outside world
and stuff like that. That is some purest form of energy which just wants you to fucking win everything. And sometimes I think we are just too scared to live that. So this kind of alter ego, and we step into our alter ego clothes, just it makes us feel like, I try to play this one, but in reality, it's our truest self, and we just behave like that. And we have so many successful people who do that, like Marshall Mathers has this, so Eminem has his alter ego, Beyonce has an alter ego, you know, Jessie Lee has an alter ego. And I think exactly why they do that, because to live this, and I know this sometimes from myself, if I climb into some mountains, then I really get into another state. And there I think in football with you will be the same, that you are in some other level. Or if I go to windsurfing, it's also different. I can be shit out of the bed, like, damn, today I'm so done. The moment I grab my surfboard, no pain, no pain. No pain. I do everything on the water, coming out, everything fine. Next morning, guys, my neck broken. It can't go. Wind, pack the stuff, no pain. So it's really like we have to be aware that there's so much more between earth and sky. And I love what you thought about today. That really, I think it's all about feeling it and not thinking about it, and then create just something, and then just step into it. And maybe sometimes it could help, I think, if you put a special t-shirt on, or if you put like Batman, who put his cape on, and something different, which brings you into an other state. Oh, do you know the film Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone?
Over the Top?
Yes, this is a very old film. No, no, we say that is different. So he was a trucker, an arm wrestler trucker, and he has a he was driving truck, and he has a machine. So the whole day he could do arm wrestling in the car. And the interesting thing is, he had a baseball cap on, and then at some event he explained his son, every time I turn the cup, then it's like my machine is going on, and this is when I'm ready. And this just reminds me of, oh my God, we need so much more rituals. And this is now, oh sorry, I'm exploding. It's about rituals, and we are so missing out of rituals, of doing things with more intention.
But there is basically just like activating his alter ego, that's that. Yes. And what you said, it's super true. Sorry if I interrupt you, but like I really have to. I'm feeling it's crazy. But like in this conversation, I'm realizing myself that the alter ego is, and not many people have that, but it's maybe just as you said, the truest version of ourselves, and most likely the most lightened version of ourselves. It's literally like ourselves getting into the best of the person we actually want to be. Then we just call it somehow differently. But it's like making a stupid quote unquote example. Nowadays, the metaverse is being created, right? Is and I think that we are shifting always more and more in that crazy world. So where people will literally create their own alter ego and go in that new world, and behave differently, and just have a parallel life, right? Because they want to feel differently, they want to behave differently, etc, etc, etc. And the alter ego, who has the alter ego, who managed to create the alter ego, doesn't matter if it is well known or not, it's basically stepping into the best version of him or herself, and that's
that's great. me myself, it makes me a little bit sad. There's the thing that people go out into other dimensions to create something instead of having the balls to so I can be the most freaky person in a metaverse, but I'm afraid to go to another person I like. Holy shit, what's happening in this world? And I think I think that is a pretty interesting thing, and the development will come because people want to be someone else. But I think that is different from the alter ego, because that is not that you want to be something else, that is some part of you which is so much powerful, so much greater, but you are afraid to live it all day long. And maybe your surrounding also would not survive because you have so much energy and say, oh guy, come down, please. So that could be also.
Well, you yourself, like you said at the very beginning, like you kind of don't manage to focus on just one thing because you are a bomb of energy. But by the way, what you just said, it's crucial. And I see that even like this topic, it's so important, so wide. Even thinking about the identity and the development of the identity with the technology, like literally with this, what is going on now and what it will always be developed with virtual reality, and you immersing yourself into another world where you can literally be somebody else. Oh, but listen, right now it's already like that. If I go and write and I create a Twitter account where my name is futuristic, or I create Discord account where my name is futuristic, nobody knows who I am. It's me. I have my alter ego, which is futuristic, and I can go and write and do and behave however I want, being another person, and that's crazy. But that's for sure, it's another kind of topic, because like then we touch even some other like very important points. But I see that I thank you, because even your suggestions on how to tackle this identity let's say, wage was super important. And I will definitely use it for myself. And I see that identity is what is then the mother, and it's the womb, I would say, of then every success.
Yeah, I see the same, that that in our conversations and in preparation of this podcast, it's really like, wow, identity is really everything. And the funny thing is, we can wait so much longer for waiting for this, but you really have to create it by yourself. And this is, then it really comes back again to the hard part, to the hard work, where most of people really don't want to do that. And we want to inspire, I think, everyone who's listening to this podcast to do the work, because I think we are 100% by
ourselves.
Yeah.
By ourselves here.
No, we are 100% sure. So that is sure that the identity thing is so important, whether you want to accomplish something in your health goal, in your financial goal, in your business goal, because it's how you are in the world and who you are in the world that will put out the energy, and then energy just comes back. This is just, yes. I think, we both looked at Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's like, you have to be it first to create it in the world, and not have it and then it will happen. No, you have to be it first. And in that case, I hope everyone who listened to this podcast enjoyed this episode. Matteo, I really enjoyed it. I got some really interesting thoughts about where I will think about my identity and working more on my identity. I see there is still potential in some areas I can work, but this is why we do that, for the growth.
I loved it. I thank you very much, Sasha, always for your wisdom, for your incredible pearls. And like my last words are, it's actually a very personal fight. So even though like you can have millions of examples, even though you can have mentors, even though you can have everybody around you that can help you and push and everything, I really see that when it comes to identity, it's a complete personal fight, and it starts with taking action, even if it is a messy one. So like go and work for it. And like what can I say? I'll meet you in the next podcast.
Yes, thank you very much, Matteo. Thank you very much for all the listeners, and don't forget to subscribe, and then we see you in the next podcast. Ciao.
Ciao.